Okay, so my role will be the Managing Director of the Southern Hemisphere, so that will include Australia, New Zealand, South Africa and several Asian countries. Matt will be the Managing Director of the Australian business, and Jonas will take the lead as marketing head for the SOHEM region as well.
What was the rationale for the merger?
Ultimately, I believe it boils down to Fluidra wanting to get access into the US market. So Fluidra had for a number of years battled to get into the US market, as well as Zodiac really didn't have a strong portfolio of pumps and filters in Europe, and those were probably the two driving forces of the global merger.
There had been rumours that it wasn't a true merger, that it was more of a takeover from one part or the other, sometimes from Zodiac taking over, but that's not the case?
It really is a true merger, and I think often it comes where there's been a disparity in the sizes of the business around the world. Ultimately, certain countries have bigger Fluidra facilities and certain have bigger Zodiac facilities, and often it's the perception of the staff and the customers based on that dissimilar sizes gives that perception, but it really is a true merger. The board consists of independent members from Fluidra as well as independent members from Zodiac, and it's actually quite a balanced portfolio. They've kept the numbers really at 50-50 ratio.
In Australia, it's a real blend. We've got some countries that have got a real balance between Astral Pool and Zodiac, and in Australia we're obviously having a really merged approach as well. Blending both parts of the business for best practice, which is very exciting for us.
Keysborough, the facility, the manufacturing facility in Melbourne, has obviously been very important for Astral Pool. Yes. Is that going to continue to be important for the merged entity? Yeah,
look, absolutely. $45 million plant. It's a huge investment. Something that I think the Zodiac team is very excited about having local manufacturing here. It's something that's been ultimately very important for us over the years, considering local manufacturing is quite high. Australians are quite patriotic and makes us proud to be Australian, and we want to continue down that track where possible and where it makes sense. So absolutely relevant for obviously now and for many, many years. We think we're competitive for any manufacturing plant in the world, and I think Australians embrace that as well, our customers particularly.
With the differentiation between the brands, are they both going to maintain their own presence, the Astral Pool and the Zodiac brands? So
the intention is to run them as completely separate programs and separate brands, and in essence create our own competition. So both brands will continue and be grown. So we do not intend to consolidate under the Fluidra company name.
Both well-respected brands, which we absolutely want to continue. Yep.
So we've got plans laid out probably till the end of 2019. The biggest one probably is when we merge the ERP systems, being run about July next year. That's probably when we're really going to start becoming the one Fluidra. Up until that point, we will have separate ERP systems, so it will be difficult to put us two together completely. However, July is probably the date that will happen.
Is there going to be job losses?
We don't foresee any job losses. Actually, we implemented a headcount freeze across both businesses quite early on in the process, and we have a number of vacancies actually at the moment. So we're actively recruiting now that the merger's closed. We're actually hiring more people rather than making people redundant.
Yeah, there was a motto that we used in the merger, was 1 + 1 = more than 2. Which says it in a nutshell. We're looking to structure the company up to be the best, and you need good staff to do that. It's not our intention to strip staff down and all that sort of stuff, but there will be changes, of course. However, it shouldn't affect our numbers at all.
So we're going to keep both facilities for the foreseeable future. Ultimately, certain departments will be based in each facility. So for instance, the marketing team, we have a stronger marketing team in Sydney, so the marketing team for the new entity will be based in Sydney. However, manufacturing is obviously in Keysborough, supply chain is obviously linked to manufacturing, so that will be based down in Keysborough. So we're going to use both facilities and have them for different departments.
So will there be separate marketing departments for the different brands, or it'll all come under Fluidra?
All come under Fluidra, underneath Jonas Ryberg.
Yep. It is to be Astral Pool brand is a professional brand for the professionals. So we made a conscious decision about 5 years ago to structure up and and really invest into the professional market. In the new company, we've got a huge portfolio, which means that we have the ability to place a bundle of products into each of the channels that's most suitable for. So as far as we're concerned, for the future going forward, Astral Pool brand is for the professional builder and retail part of the industry, and the online part of it will formulate a different range of equipment, but will certainly be that separation from which we've done in the past. Yeah.
Titanium and Alliance customers, the different loyalty programs, are they going to be able to buy products from the other programs or from the other brand?
So it's one of the bridges we haven't crossed. At this point in time, we want to keep both programs completely separate so that they can compete against each other in the market. We may look at certain product categories which are not core and let them cross-sell. However, we do intend to keep the programs and product ranges through the two different channels as separate for now.
What's going to be happening with R&D? Is there still going to be research and development going on in Australia?
Yeah, there is. Again, forms a fairly formidable part of our history in Astral Pool, and we want to continue down that line of local R&D. I think it has to be done locally. However, with the new company, we've got the ability to tap into all the professional R&D centres across the world, and no bigger than the one in Vista in Zodiac. So we want to accelerate that part of it, but certainly we'll have our own flavour in Australia, and that will continue. It's been a huge part of our success in the past, and I think we can tap into that and make best practice again, is to localise it as much as we can, but utilise the strength of the R&D streamline for the world.
We're actually actively recruiting in their R&D department at the moment, so we're already chatting to some individuals in Europe to come down and help us to grow the R&D in Australia. So absolutely, it's going to be a focus for us. We plan to develop more and more products in Australia. I mean, ultimately, the number one thing that stood out straight away is that both companies have a customer first focus or value. So it's the thing that brought us together very, very quickly as a team, is that we both put customers front of mind. Yes, we do things differently, and we are starting to understand each other better. After this Splash conference, we've actually got our first combined sales conference, where we're going to have 50 salespeople meeting each other for the first time as colleagues, not competitors. So we have some work to do, but ultimately, if we keep the customer first focus, I believe we're heading in the right direction.
Currently, the customers won't see too many changes. Whilst this merger is happening and it's quite a heavy workload in the background, we made a conscious decision that obviously nothing should happen unless it's a real benefit to the customer, to our customers. So from that point, what will the customers see in the next phase is probably not a lot this year. But in the near future there will be some changes, all with a view to improve the services to our customers, rolling out additional trade centres, remodelling the trade centres to have a better experience with Fluidra. And so yeah, there's a number of initiatives that are in plan. The rollout is going to happen over the next 12 months, so there's lots of things happening in the trade centre world.
It's something that's been very clear right from the top, is that yes, we are the biggest, but that does not entitle us to the business. We need to be the best to win the business. So it's something we'll often remind ourselves, don't let size make us arrogant. At the end of the day, we need to be the best, and we need to win our customers' business every single day.